All right, today we're going to dive into something really cool, a hidden language in our dog's health. And it's a secret, told not by how fast our heart beats, but by how it dances.
So let me ask you something. When you picture a healthy heart, what comes to mind? Probably a really steady beat, right? Like a metronome. Tick, tock, tick, tock. Makes sense. It sounds efficient, perfect. But here's the twist. What if I told you that for a dog, that steady beat is actually a huge red flag?
Okay, now take a look at this. This ECG tracing might look, well, a little all over the place. But believe it or not, this is from a totally healthy dog. See that pattern? The beats get closer, then they spread out, over and over. That beautiful rhythmic change, that's the real sign of a healthy heart.
So what's going on here? What is this healthy, variable rhythm? Well, scientists have a name for it, and it's pretty much the key to this whole explainer.
It's called Respiratory Sinus Arrhythmia, or RSA for short. And no, arrhythmia here doesn't mean something's wrong. In fact, it's the total opposite. It's a sign that the heart and brain are in perfect sync. You know, the heart speeds up a little when your dog breathes in and slows down when they breathe out. This shows the whole system is super responsive and flexible. It's a good thing, a really good thing.
Okay, but what happens when something threatens that beautiful, healthy rhythm? Well, that brings us to the villain of our story today, a really common heart disease in dogs.
It's called myxomatous mitral valve disease. Yeah, it's a mouthful, so let's just call it MMVD. Basically, it's a condition where a key valve in the heart starts to wear out and leak. It tends to show up in smaller, older dogs, and it's a chronic thing.
And when I say common, I mean really common. Get this, MMVD is responsible for a whopping 75%, 3/4 of all acquired heart disease cases in dogs. It's a huge deal.
So this all leads to a really important question, one that a recent study wanted to figure out. As a dog's heart starts to struggle with MMVD, what happens to that healthy, flexible rhythm? You know, does the heart's music start to fade away?
So to get an answer, scientists needed a way to actually measure this rhythm. They had to find a way to put a number on that dance of the heartbeat, especially as the disease got worse. And their setup was actually pretty clever and totally non-invasive. They just put a little sensor in front of the dog's nose to track breathing and hooked up an ECG to record the heartbeat. This way, they could see the heart and lungs doing their little duet in real time, perfectly synchronized.
Okay, so how do you turn all that data into a simple number? Well, the method is actually pretty straightforward. They record both the breathing and the heartbeat at the same time. Then, for every single breath, they pinpoint the fastest the heart gets on the inhale and the slowest it gets on the exhale. Then they just calculate the difference and turn it into a percentage. They call it RSA. And it's simple. A higher percentage means more of that healthy flex, a better rhythm.
So now they had this tool to measure percent SRA in dogs at all different stages of MMVD, from healthy all the way to dogs in heart failure. And what they discovered was, well, it was partly what you'd expect, but also had a twist that was surprisingly hopeful.
So first up, the predictable part. As the dog's heart disease got worse and worse, that beautiful, healthy rhythm, it started to just fade away. The heart's music got flat, rigid. It started to sound more like that boring old metronome. And this graph just lays it all out. See that group labeled C? Those are the dogs in acute congestive heart failure. Just look at how low their scores are. Their scores have absolutely tanked compared to the healthier dogs. That flexible, healthy rhythm is practically gone. Yeah, that looks pretty grim, right? It suggests that when the disease hits a crisis point, the heart just loses that vital flexibility. But the researchers didn't stop there. They asked a super important follow-up question. Once that rhythm is lost, is it gone for good?
And here's the amazing part. The answer was no. Take a look at the C group on that same graph. These are dogs who were in heart failure, but they got treatment and stabilized. And look, their percent RSA bounced back in a big way. The heart's music, it wasn't gone forever. It came back.
So this is the really big deal here. It's not just that this rhythm exists, it's that it changes in a predictable way with the disease and with treatment. And that could completely change how vets track and manage heart health. This table really breaks it down. Look at the numbers. A dog in acute failure has a super high heart rate, is breathing fast, and their rhythm flexibility, that percent RSA, is down at a scary 4.7%. But once they're stable on therapy, the heart and breathing rates come down, and look at the percent RSA. It jumps up to over 26%. That's more than a 5-fold increase. It's a massive, measurable sign that things are getting better. And the researchers who did this study said it best. They basically concluded that this RSA thing isn't just some interesting factoid. It could be a powerful new biomarker, a tool for vets to actually see, with real numbers, if a treatment is helping the heart get its healthy function back.
I mean, this discovery really opens the door to a future where we can monitor a dog's heart health in a much smarter, more proactive way.
So when you boil it all down, it's really a tale of two rhythms. On one hand, you've got the healthy heart. It's flexible, it's responsive, it's got that high variability. And on the other hand, you've got the heart in an acute crisis. It's rigid, it's strained, and it's just ticking away like a metronome. And if you need one last visual to drive it home, look at this bar chart. A healthy dog, their rhythm variability is up there at over 36%. A dog in acute heart failure, it's crashed down to just 4.7%. The difference is just staggering. But the key thing we've learned is that recovery is possible.
So what are the big takeaways here? First, remember that a variable heartbeat that syncs up with breathing, that's a sign of a healthy dog. Second, this rhythm, this RSA, it really diminishes when heart disease gets severe. But third, and this is the hopeful part, the right treatment can help bring that healthy rhythm back. And finally, all this means that measuring percent RSA could become an amazing new tool for vets to keep tabs on our best friend's heart health.
You know, this whole study is just such a great reminder that sometimes the biggest clues about health aren't in some super complex, expensive test. Sometimes they're hidden in the simple, beautiful rhythms of life itself, right there in front of us. And it kind of makes you wonder, right? What other vital signs are we missing, hiding in plain sight?